Morning, everybody. I don't know about you, but personally, I suck at giving gifts. It's awful. So that means December, the most stressful time of the year for me, honestly. I can never figure out what to give to my friends and family, and I always end up giving them something very sucky at the end of the month. However, last year I decided to do something a little differently, and I decided to make my whole family books. I made everyone books. Now that is coming from someone who never bookbinded in their life before. I watched one YouTube video and thought, yeah, I can do that myself. And I did. However, I did have to pull an all-nighter to finish them up because I procrastinated so hard, which you'll see in these next few clips because I documented everything for you. You're welcome. Now, this isn't a tutorial. I post the YouTube video I got my information from. They were very helpful. I really enjoyed it. Now, commence the chaos. First things first, in the bookbinding business, I had to get all of my supplies. So I ran to the nearest craft store with my brother, and after showing him away, I was able to get down to business. Now, this is me looking at my sketchbook to make sure I was doing the math correctly in paper ratio to foam board I needed. This was me being very precise, as you can tell, using my fingers to measure. Try to make sure I get the right amount of supplies since I will not be coming back.
Bag secured, I guess.
Back home, I was able to look at all the treasures I had gotten for the day. The first thing was the rotary tool, which I needed for the fabric you'll see later on, and for the string, and I used it for the paper, which I probably shouldn't have. You'll see that later in the video. Foam board for the front and back of the book, and had to get 2 just so I had enough for all 5 books. Cloth to enwrap the foam board in. I got the tan one for a reason. I was going to use it, did not end up using it. I think I just forgot. This type of paper, I just grabbed the biggest pack of paper I could find. I did not do any research. You should probably do research. I mean, if you wanted to be like high quality. I also got artboard, but I don't think I ended up using it for the spine of the book. Mod Podge to glue the fabric onto the foam board. I heard it yellows over time, so maybe I shouldn't have used it, but that's what I used. I also got string to bind the spine. You'll see later on. And then specific needles that are like curved. I've never used them, but I do think it ended up helping a lot, especially with this specific project. The string is also covered in wax, so it's like a specific type of string. In case you're wondering, the total of everything I got for the day was $80. $80 for all of this. So I spent $80 trying to make 5 different books. At this time, 6, because I thought I was gonna make one for myself. Did not end up happening. I started the process by cutting every paper off camera because this was a lot of cutting. Obviously, you see I used one of those big paper cutters, which helped a lot. However, I did mess up so many times. I had to redo it a couple times, but I ended up with all 5 of these, as you can see, stacked up. And I did end up doing 8 bunches for each book, and in the bunches I'm not really sure how many pages it ended up being. This is a quick time lapse of me puncturing holes on each of the pages to end up looking like this, so it'll be easier for my needle to go through whenever it gets to the sewing process. Now this took so long because each step required 100 million repeated times to do it, since I was making 5 to 6 books ish. Now if you're following along, this is what it should look like after this step. It was so much paper. I swear I don't even want to know how many trees died just for me to do this project, but this is what a singular bunch looks like, and this is me trying to sew it. This part of the process probably took me the longest to do because it was just so tedious, and I messed up so many times. There are also instances where the thread will just unravel from the needle, so I'd have to keep putting it through the hole, like keep rethreading it, which was so annoying. But your girl made it through. I lost count on how many times I stabbed myself with that needle, I'll tell you that. After completing the first bunch, now we have to do the second one, which looks a little different because this process we have to go over and under the stitches we just made on the first one, just so they're really linked together. After completing those stitches, this is what the final product should look like. This was my very first try at this, and it was very loosey-goosey, so I think I scrapped it and I just put it to the side, and I wasn't planning on using it. However, I did mess up again in the later steps, so I think I actually did end up using this not very good stitched up one, but it's not that bad. It really isn't, but that's what it looks like flipped through. You're able to see the thread and the holes. I thought it was just really cool because I made that by hand. Now, after a little lunch break, this is 8 p.m. on December 6th, and I already finished 3. Now, this is me completing all of them, and that's what they looked like. I was very, very excited and very proud of myself for doing that because they actually look really good. I remember flipping out, being like, oh my god, I did that, that was me. Now, if only that was the last step, because we have so much more to go through. The next step was to glue the spine so it wouldn't come apart. Now, this is me clamping it so they all stick very tightly together so I can put the glue on like that. This was my second lunch break, and I had already glued, I think, 2 of them, and I was just letting them dry. Now, this step is where I low-key kind of messed up because look, it looks like a crime scene. Now, one of the steps was to make all the pages look equal on that side and make them look all flat. However, I ended up taking too much off, and the book ended up being a little shorter than the rest of them, and also the cuts came out sort of slanted, I'm not gonna lie. So I decided just to skip that step for the rest of the books and moved on to the cloth. And this is me ironing it out, which took so long, like everything does. And I ended up kind of giving up halfway through, so some of the books did end up with creases, I'll say that. Moving on, I guess I didn't record the next step, but I pretty much cut up the foam board and the cardboard to make up the back of the book and glued the fabric onto those pieces, and here is what it looks like after they come off the clamp system I curated. Skip to December 24th when I procrastinated and it's 2 a.m. and I had finished binding all of them. I was just waiting for 3 of them to come out of the clamp system I made. For this, I ended up using D-Walk clamps from my dad and some cutting boards from the kitchen we had. So don't look at this, Mom. I'm so sorry I used your cutting boards. Here's some ASMR of it popping.
For as long as I could. Eventually.
I was finally able to release the 3 books in the clamp, and the reason I did 3 of them at a time, which you're not supposed to do, is because I was just running out of time and I had to get these flattened out, and you could see those creases. Yeah, that was for me not ironing the fabric enough, but it was just taking too long, I swear. However, it did look really cool. They came out really good, and this part of me taking the paper off, it was kind of ripping because of the Mod Podge. It was low-key glued to the book, so I kind of had to put my camera down and deal with it off camera, but I was able to fix it and it was no problem, and they came out really good. Here's a close-up of what the books look like out of the press. The spine did get a little wonky there. I remember having some trouble aligning the actual pages with the hardcover, but I think it came out pretty good. I mean, it looks like a book that you just get off the shelf and you look at. However, that was the easy part, can you imagine? Because right after, I had to paint every single one of these. Now, for this, I had to draw all of my sketches onto my iPad and then transfer them on paper by tracing, and then I did this little method by just scribbling the pencil on the back of the page, and doing that, I was able to transfer my sketch onto the actual book. Here's a little process of me taping this page onto this book and then tracing every tiny little line. However, I didn't really have to do this for all of the books just because it became so tedious, and most of them I was able just to freehand by myself. This design is meant for my older sister, so I did it very meticulously on my iPad so I knew the different colors that swirled together and what their placement was. So I really had to trace it onto the book and not just do it freehand, because I fear it would have looked like a blobby mess at the end of me painting. I ended up having to do the exact same technique for one of my older brother's design because his was a cyberpunk-esque, which you'll see later on in the video what I mean, but it meant I had to make a template for his, but thankfully his design was repeating on all four corners, so that one was very much more easy to make a template for, not gonna lie. I did later on have to paint the middle section of this book just because I wanted it to be white, but alas, I got pencil on it. And this is my painting process. I didn't film much because I was on a time crunch, and guess what? It was already 9 in the morning. And here's a quick check-in of my painting process. You can see I already finished 2 books, and this is my older brother's. This is the one I was talking about. And timestamp, just a quick pan to my iPad, it is already 11 in the morning. Thankfully, I was able to finish all of the painting process and was able to let them dry long enough, and this is how they all came out. I really wish I did take a little bit longer here and there. I feel like if I was able to paint them now, it would come out like 10 times better, but for that point in time when I barely touched paint in my life, I thought it looked really good. This was me just wrapping each an individual book up, and whew, can I just say, this has been a long one, guys. I swear I was about to pass out at this point, but I said, no, I gotta finish it. I made it this far and how to make it look all cute. So this was my sister's. I do a little close-up on each and every one of them just so you can see the design. With my sister's, I decided to do a colorful squiggles just because I feel like that really fits her room. Her room has a very much white vibe, but she has a lot of color in the artwork she puts up in her room. I would love to make this into a tradition where I make them books every year. However, I just don't think I want to go through that torture again, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to know if any of you guys have tried bookbinding in your life. Please tell me in the comments below and I will read them. I definitely give major props to the people who do this for a living because oh my god, is it hard. Also with leather, oh, I would love to try to do it with leather, but I already know that would just be, first of all, so expensive and so time consuming. But here is me finishing up my little wrap for this one. Now moving on to my older brother, Victor. This is his book. I did more of a fantasy forest vibe just because he does like outdoors and he plays a lot of fantasy games, so I thought that would fit his vibe, and also the dark green. I did have in my sketch to add flowers and such, but I think at the end I just didn't add them for whatever reason. I think I liked how green it looked. This is my other older brother's book I finished. This was very minimalist and very cyberpunk-esque. I mean, that's why I clicked into Pinterest whenever I was trying to find inspo for his. And next to my older sister's, I really liked how this one came out. I think it looked very clean and crisp and very much him. So I was excited to see his reaction to this one. This next one was for my mom, so I decided to paint sunflowers, which are her favorite flowers, and do a bright yellow edge to hers, and I really liked it, so I ended up going back and doing the edges on other books I hadn't done them for. And last but not least, I have my dad's, which is a bunch of gears, and I really wanted to do a type of steampunk-esque for his because he's very handsy and he always does stuff around the house. So I thought that was very much his vibe, and he also likes the color orange. So I thought it was very cute. Now I finally finished every single one of these books, and it was 2 p.m. 2 p.m. on Christmas Eve I finished, but hey, here is their reaction.
What am I doing?
Well,
I'll be over here.
I'm double teaming it. Yeah, go over there.
Double fisting. Am I doing it now?
I don't think
We
that's what
ready?
you should say.
That's what I mean. That's the term. When? Say when?
Okay,
Is it a
so
race?
I need a preface. This is all made by hand. The whole thing, it's from scratch.
Lo hecho de mano.
So very thoughtful. So
No dormió nada.
I did not sleep. I literally stayed up all day. That's why I went to bed when everyone got here. When I finished these gifts at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Okay. So please appreciate my effort at doing this. Even though it might look anticlimactic. Okay.
It'll be weird.
I don't like it.
Okay, ready? Y'all can open it. Okay.
Now?
Y'all can open it. Open
Is
it.
it race to see who's first? Is it race to see who's first?
That's cute.
You handmade me a drawing thingy?
I made y'all books, yeah. Like little drawing notebooks. So y'all can use it for anything, but
That's really cool.
Yo, how did you do this?
I know, right? Okay, it was very hard. It took me so long.
Wait,
How did you
what?
bookbind on your own? Like,
Yup. I watched one YouTube video and I did it.
What? Had a hard time with Erika's
Yeah.
book.
These came out good.
Yeah.
For my first try ever.
Nice. Thank you.
Los de Erika estuvimos batallando los clases.
They're really cute.
Thank you. What does yours look like? Like a forest.
I did Victor's like kind of nature-y because he just like, like nature-y vibe,
Yeah.
kind of magical.
That's me.
Well, like, yeah, like I was trying to go for that vibe. For Ruben's, he wanted minimalist. So I did like,
This is very me.
yeah, I wanted something like, it was like cyberpunk-ish. I wanted to try, but like minimalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for mom, I did sunflowers and like yellow.
And me for maintenance.
And for that, that one, I tried going for like
Years.
orange, yeah.
Mechanic,
And then for Erica's, I did a bunch of squiggles, a little colorful.
all art
She said you're a
stuff.
weirdo.
Nice. You didn't put your name on it, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't put your name on it.
You kill someone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love
You're
it.
cute.
This is
We
cool.
love it. Thank you.
I can get him right off the paint.
Yeah, don't smell it. It probably smells really bad.
Yeah, it was done this morning.
Yeah, it was literally, it might still be wet, like, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh. Nice, thank you.
Wow.
That's cute. That's cute.
Before I'm gonna use it. I can't believe you bound this whole thing.
Along with
Yeah.
Erika's book to do Erika's.
I did, they're stitched up.
It came out good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You
And these
stitched
came
it.
out so like perfect.
Yeah.
How did you do that, bro? Like.
I don't know how you did it. I'm not gonna lie.
So maybe when you try doing a 70+ page book, then we'll talk.
Bruh.
I know.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot how many pages I did for y'all, but it's pretty hefty. Of course, this will be going on YouTube. And there it is. That is the end. I finished. Now, this definitely was a year ago when I did all of this. However, I already feel exhausted just watching me do all of that work because I just remember being in my room watching Degrassi. And honestly, if it wasn't for Degrassi, I think I would have went into madness trying to do all of that in one night. But hey, I finished it. There you go. I'm a god. No, but I really did have a lot of fun doing this, and I definitely recommend if any other artist out there is watching and you have no idea what to get your friends or family, may I suggest bookbind for the first time in your life and procrastinate the whole time and then do it very last minute and finish at the very last second. It's very much a rush. Anywho, that will be it for me today. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good night. Bye.